morning to all. Myself Shasana, and today we are going to continue on our previous topic of science, which is fiber to fabric. Now let's start this topic. So in my previous video of this topic, we have learned how does the fabric is formed from the fiber. First, we go through the process of spinning. In that process, we just form the yarn or the thread from the fiber. Then we do the weaving or knitting for getting the fabric from that thread or the yarn. And now let's talk about more deeply in that. So we have talked about the loom. What is the loom? The machine which is used for weaving. And do you know one more thing? That how is loom helpful for the weaving? So basically, what does this loom machine do? It just holds the vertical thread or the longitudinal thread, which was named as warp. So it holds the warp, and then the human or the machines just fill that weft. Yes, the horizontal thread is known as the weft. Now let's move on. Do you know one more thing? Today we are going to talk about two types of fiber. Okay, so let's write it down. So the fiber could be categorized or classified as natural fiber, and synthetic fiber. Now let's see what is this natural fiber and synthetic fiber. So basically we are going to talk about the natural and synthetic first. What does this word natural means? Yes, the natural means the things, the material which we had get from the nature. So the fibers which we get from the nature, for example the animals fiber, animal fiber and plant fiber, like cotton, silk and so on, jute. So these all are the natural fiber. And then we have, yes, the synthetic fiber. So in the photosynthesis, what was the meaning of synthesis? Putting together. And over here it is also. But when the chemicals are synthesized or when the chemicals are put it together to form the fiber, that is the synthetic fiber. So basically you can say the man-made fiber, which is made by the chemicals, by synthesizing the chemicals. Now what is the examples? Yes, polyesters, nylons, nylon and so on. Now let's see more about these two. So how can you differentiate between two fabric that this is made up of the natural fiber or this is made up of the synthetic fiber? So let's see. So for that I'm going to have a fabric made up of the synthetic fiber. So let me have that. Oh, so this is basically the scarf made up of, right, polyester, and this is the example of the synthetic fiber. Now let me have the cotton fiber, fabric made up of cotton fiber. This, yes, the handkerchief made up of the cotton fibers. Now can you differentiate between these two by just seeing it? Of course no, you can't just see that. Can you differentiate this? Can you find any difference between these two? No, so how can we do this? How can we differentiate between these fiber. So for that we can feel the texture. Okay, so if you are going to look deeply, or if you are going to feel deeply the texture of these two, you are going to see the difference between the synthetic fiber and the natural fiber. Now you will say it is a little hard and it is a little harder to guess that. So what you can do next is to just burn a little. Burn that fabric a little at the sides, at the corners. And then if you will burn these two, the one which is made up of the synthetic fiber will have a unique smell. A little bad, or you can just tell that. Yes, because it will smell like a chemical. But the natural fiber are not going to do like that. So you can easily differentiate between the natural fiber and the synthetic fiber by just burning them. Now let's see some more. So let me get rid of these two, and now let's see. So do you know one more thing? Let's talk about the natural fiber and synthetic fiber more. So do you know about the natural fiber? Let's talk about the natural fiber first. So we have learned what is a natural fiber. Let's talk about the plant and the animal fibers. So basically, as we had learned that the natural fiber include the plant fiber and the animal fiber. So what is the example of the plant fiber? Right, cotton. So cotton will be a good example of natural fiber or a plant fiber. So do you know how does that cotton fiber is just extracted from the cotton plant? Let's see. So firstly, do you know where does that cotton plant grow? So the cotton plant well grows in a warm weather and also in a black soil. So you will ask, what is that place? So for example, near the Ganga. Yes, near the Ganga river. So the cotton used to grow or is well grown in the black soil and the warm weather. Now then, do you know that the cotton fiber are just that is just a fruit of the cotton plant? Yes, and if you will take that fruit, what will happen that if you will see that, you are going to look the cotton fiber, and then between that there is the seed. Let me draw a rough picture of that. So there is a seed, and then like this are the cotton fiber. So I have drawn just roughly like this is that. So if we are going, we have to pluck that cotton fibers from the seeds, and do you know that process will also have a special name. So that is known as ginning. Let me write down that. Ginning. Now, what is ginning? Yes, plucking, the process of plucking or extracting the cotton fibers from the cotton seed. Now, when we are done, then we do the spinning and form the cotton threads, and then we do the weaving to get the cotton fabric. Now, let's see some more thing. So, what if I ask you a very interesting question? So, what do you think? Who will be? The synthetic fiber will be costlier than this natural fiber, or the natural fiber is more costlier than synthetic fiber? So, there is a very interesting thing. This question is a very interesting. Let's see. So, the natural fibers, how are they obtained? From the living things, right? Plant and the animals are the living things. So let's take an example of silk. So silk is made from the silkworm, which is just the animal. And do you know that? How does that silkworm produces the silk? With their protein, right? Now, when the silk is produced, it is a little harder to handle the silkworms. Of course, they are the living things and they need food, they need water, and when we domesticate them, we have to take care of them, right? And because of that, the natural fibers are little harder to handle because these are extracted from the living thing. Then, if we are going to talk about the synthetic fiber, these are just made from the chemicals. So in the factories, so it is lot easier to handle the synthetic fiber than the natural fiber. So that's why natural fiber is going to be a little costlier than the synthetic fiber. If you want any examples, so take the example of the silk sari. Yes, so if you are going to ask from your mother what is the cost of silk sari, so that is going to be a little costlier than the silk synthetic mix. What does that mean? Take a little silk fiber and then mix it with the synthetic fiber, and then that fiber which you get, and then you produce the fabric from that fiber, that is just the silk synthetic mix. Now, so that the silk sari is going to be a little costlier than the synthetic fiber, the sari made up of the synthetic fiber. So I think you are clear with these two. Now let's have some more things now. So we had learned what is a gaining, and we had learned what is the difference between these two, and how to differentiate between these two, who is the who. Now let's see some more things about them. Now I think that by this knowledge you can be sure that when you bought a cloth, so that cloth, it is a very less or medium chance that is made that cloth, that fabric is made up of just the natural fiber, purely of natural fibers. So by this knowledge you can be clear by that. Now, so we have learned how to make fabric from the fiber. And now let's see some more things. So if we had got a fabric, so can we wear that out? Of course no. That fabric is just a piece of a cloth. So how can we wear that? So basically we wear that also. For example, sari. Yes, so sari is just the fabric. It is not stitched. Now you will say, what is stitch? I think you know that, stitching, sewing. So that is done by the sewing needle, and I think your mother had done that many times. So let's see. We had just completed with these natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Now let's see the history of clothing. Interesting thing. So let's see that. So first, let me rub this out. So what is the history of clothing? So I think if you had gone to a museum, and in that if you had seen the pictures of the early man or our ancestors. What is ancestors? Early men, of course, or the grandfather, grandmother. Basically, not grandfather and grandmother, great. Okay, I think you guessed that. So ancestors ancestor, let me write the Hindi meaning of that ancestor, Purvaj. So, if you had seen the pictures of our ancestors or the early man, and if you had noticed the cloth, you had seen that they are just made up of the animal fur. Then the barks of tree, just like that type of the things which we get from the nature. The bark of the tree, and then some animal fur, so animal skin, animal hides. So at that time there was no technology like this which is now. So they just used to take that thing and just wrap it around. So they just wrapped or draped that in their body, on their body. And then when the civilization start growing, then now, do you know about the Egyptians? So if you know that Egyptians used to wear the linen. Now you will say, what is linen? So it is also a natural fiber which is obtained from the flax plant, which is just near them, which is just near the Egyptians, Egypt. So they used to wear linen more than the cotton in the summer, right? So Egypt, if you had gone to the Egypt, or I think you know that definitely, that Egypt has a warm weather, and because of that, the cotton will be a good thing, good fiber or good fabric to wear. So why does they wear the linen? So they wear the linen because that linen was also good and best for the Egyptians' warm weather. Why is it that? That's because the linen was transparent, thinner and breathable than cotton. So they used to wear linen most. Then what we had got next is that at that time cotton, the weaving, the process of weaving was known to the people. And then let's start moving on, and then the spinning, okay, before the weaving, the spinning came in the world. Let me tell you in an order. So firstly, the spinning came in the world. And yes, so do you know about the takli and the charkha? Yes, so that was invented in the India. Then after that, the weaving came. And as I had already told you, that the Egyptian used to wear the linen. Now what happens next? Let me tell you the dress of the Egyptians. So they just take the linen and then make that fabric, and then they just draped that. So they didn't know how to sew. So because of that, they just take that fabric and wrap it around or draped that, and that cloth, the cloth of the men at that time was known as shendet. Shendet, let me write down the name. Shendet. And this was held in the place by a fancy belt. Then after next, what happens? That our country, India, invented the sewing needle, and that was a very, very important and very interesting invention in the history of clothing. So that was how the clothing changed. The fashion, as we know that the fashion changes by the year, even by the seasons and the month. Let's say if the one fashion is in, and after 1 year, if you will look that, it could be out. It may be out of the fashion and then another one is in. So the fashion changes by the year and even by the seasons and the months. So, do you know that the cloths, the fibers and the fabrics are just all around you? What you have to do is to just notice and study about them. So, for now, we are going to end our video over here, and our chapter, a beautiful chapter, Fiber to Fabric, is just completed right now. So, thank you for watching this video and have a cheerful day ahead. If you want any improvement in me, you can comment it in the comment box. Thank you.